University. It's Prairie Wolves football time. I'm Jim Angeli along with Bren Chambers here as we get started and waiting for the kickoff as Nebraska Wesleyan faces number 7 Wartburg College in a big battle for Nebraska Wesleyan, trying to get some momentum here towards the end of the season.
Yeah, had a great game a couple weeks ago, or a competitive game against Central. I thought they played really well, although they didn't come out with a win. Got a bye week, and now the biggest challenge on the schedule for the Prairie Wolves.
Absolutely. This is an outstanding team for Wartburg. Great defensively. And Nebraska Wesleyan is going to watch that one sail into the end zone. Nice kick by Jackson Hoppus to get things started.
And you mentioned it, Jim, key for the Prairie Wolves here. Wartburg, like most of their other seasons, have a stifling defense. So trying to control the ball a little bit, string together some first downs, is going to be a challenge, but a key for the Wolves to possess the football and try to keep their defense off the field.
So we'll see what Connor White can get started here for Nebraska Wesleyan here in the first quarter, their first possession. Going to go outside to Corbin Horner. And he's able to get a nice gain on first down. And it's going to be a first down.
Yep, interesting little chess match to begin the game. Wartburg comes out in a 5-1 defense, so sometimes you'll hear that called the penny front, expecting a run game, and just played off with the cornerback a little bit. And nice throw there by White.
The black jerseys and the white pants for Nebraska Wesleyan here today. Tristan Myers right up the gut for a nice gain.
Yeah, great job by the O-line there. You don't see the Wartburg front four get gashed very often. So good blocking up front.
Tristan Myers coming off of one of his best games of his career a couple of weeks ago against Central College. 19 carries, 149 yards, and a 76-yard TD run. It's nice to see him healthy. White to Horner again. Big gain into plus territory as Horner is able to scramble up to the 45 of Wartburg.
So the Wartburg corners are playing off. It looks like maybe a cover 4, or they're rolling into a cover 3 look. But in any event, the corners are given 7-8 yards cushion, and White's been content to hit those 2 passes for short gains there.
And Corbin Horner being able to dash forward. Now look at Tristan Myers upended by Keenan Tyler. 76 tackles coming into this game for the senior from Decorah, Iowa. He's a force in the middle of that defense.
Yeah, the front four keep him clean, and he's a handful. He'll eat up every tackle on the field if you let him.
But it's a gain of 4 for Tristan Myers. Man, and that pass rush is vicious, and that is
Jake Walker there batting the ball down.
You look at their sacks and the amount of passes broken up by linemen, and it's just amazing what this front four for Wartburg can really do.
Yeah, they definitely pop on film, and Walker there, 6'2", 274. Big long arms. Going to be hard to. At least White's going to have to be mindful of the pass rush in his throwing lanes.
So it's going to be 3rd and 6 for Nebraska Wesleyan. Myers in motion. Little out. Nicely done to Joey McLaughlin for a first down, and Nebraska Wesleyan keeps this opening drive alive.
game couldn't have started better for Wesleyan. They're controlling the football. Wartburg is tough to run on, but they've mixed up the play calling well enough and not getting greedy. And White, that's a great example. He snuck the ball in a very tight window there between the underneath coverage and the cornerback playing over the top.
So now it's 1st and 10 for Nebraska Wesleyan at the Wartburg 35. Myers gets hit right at the line of scrimmage.
So it's pretty interesting. Wesleyan is adding some men to the line of scrimmage, so playing with a tight end and a wing. Wartburg seems to content to play in their too high shell, which means they've got to steal gaps in the run game a little bit. And so where you want to hit that is kind of between the tackles. If it starts to bounce, that's what Wartburg wants. They want to keep their middle linebacker clear so he can roam tackle to tackle.
White goes underneath. That's Horner getting targeted again for the 3rd time. Picks up 7.
Nice job. Wartburg has not been aggressive at all. We haven't seen any pressure come from them. The protection has been excellent from the Wesleyan offensive line on this drive.
Another 3rd down. Nebraska Wesleyan needs to convert. Myers in motion again, and another nice little quick pass underneath to Ryan Stortenbecker, and he's just beyond the sticks by a yard.
White did a great job there getting the ball out of his hand. There was some pass rush coming, but right in rhythm. Knew exactly what he was looking for there and enough to move the sticks. Really sharp so far.
The bye week came in pretty handy, hopefully.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, they look refreshed and look like they're on script here and have had some time to game plan. Staff's done a good job.
Myers got tripped up, got his feet tangled up with Connor White on that handoff exchange. Yeah, and really Nebraska Wesleyan kind of with a patchwork offensive line. Kyle Golter up front at the left guard spot, Peyton Moraine at the right tackle spot, but they're off to a good start here. But now it's 2nd and 12.
And that's really the first negative yardage play Wesleyan's had, which is what they're going to need.
Myers following Owen Anthony, and he almost breaks that. Owen Anthony plowing the road ahead for his buddy Tristan Myers.
Yeah, nice job on the power there. Pulling the backside guard up and through. Everybody up front's down. Pull the backside guard, and nice patience there by Tristan sitting on his guard and not getting out in front of his offensive line.
3rd and 3. Nebraska Wesleyan has converted 2 3rd downs, and Myers gets around the corner, and he picks up another 1st down. And he's inside the 10, going to be at the 6. What an opening drive for Nebraska Wesleyan.
Yeah, they're the defensive end or outside linebacker on the edge. Looked like he either got himself hooked or took it on with his inside shoulder, expecting somebody to be over the top of him, and there was nobody there. Good vision there by Myers.
Showing that burst of speed to get to the edge. Drake Ferris in at fullback as we're in the I formation, and White is under center. That's Horner in motion and procedure. It's going to go against Nebraska Wesleyan. So it's going to be 1st and goal from the 11 now. Connor Smith getting a little anxious there, the tight end.
Yeah, they're getting too close. You need more room to operate down here, Jim.
You're a glass half full kind of guy, Bryn.
I've never been accused of that, Jim.
Myers goes right up the middle, and he's still on his feet. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Good, tough running between the tackles.
Yeah, great job there. With both the offensive line and Myers, again, just being patient, not running into the back of his offensive lineman. It's a good job.
Myers in the flat. Well read by Tyler Geyer.
That's the flare screen that has been very successful for Wesleyan this year. Might be a little tough sledding against a defense with this kind of speed. When you have a defensive ends who can react and are quick, that can disrupt the flare screen pretty quickly.
So it's 3rd and goal from the 11. White goes to Myers underneath. Nicely defended by Sam Rose to come up and make that tackle from the right cornerback spot.
Yeah, I wonder if they were maybe hoping for some man coverage down there, hoping to get Myers one-on-one, and Wartburg was in the zone there, and the cornerback did a good job of not chasing the in-breaking routes.
27-yard field goal attempt for Jace Winkler here. See if he can get the Prairie Wolves on the board first. He's 3 for 7 on the season. This one is just pushed to the right. And all that work in Nebraska Wesleyan is scoreless.
You hate to come up empty there, but I think you can see a way forward here for Wesleyan if they want to stay in the game and give themselves a chance at the end.
Yeah, nice drive. 15 plays, 64 yards.
A little bit of success in the run game, work the short pass game, ball control. And, Wartburg is extremely stingy. I think, they've given up 7 touchdowns in 8 games or something silly like that.
Yeah, they're giving up less than 9 points per game.
Yeah, it's...
Leo Dodd, the senior from Janesville, Iowa, at the controls for the Knights. Simple run play.
Looks like a little outside zone with the lead back up through. And you look at Wartburg's offense, they're pretty balanced, right? They're not at the top of the conference, but they run and throw the ball about equally well. Pretty efficient.
Yeah, Dawson Rudd with a nice 5-yard gain on first down, and he's got it again, and he gets to the edge and around the corner, and he's out to the 40-yard line.
You see the game plan early for Wartburg here. Both their initial run plays are picking on the outside a little bit. They must have seen something where they think they can get outside the tackle box.
And they're going quickly. That's something they showed last week against Central. Rudd, after that 14-yard gain, only gets 1.
And that's, in my mind, the downside of going fast. You see that kind of through at all levels of football. Team will hurry up and go fast and just kind of run something that, I don't know if not committed to, but it's not a real deceptive play, and you end up with a 2-yard gain instead of maybe taking your time and getting something bigger.
Denoso with the tackle on that play and the pass underneath by Dodd.
Yeah, so it looked like a little bit of a run-pass option there.
Yeah, Jaker Schmidt doing a nice job on the season for the Knights. He's got 20 catches, averaging 14.7 yards per catch, and he's able to pick up a first down.
And that's a well-designed play, right? You get a little out route there, but you look like you're running to the CD gap that side, and you just see what the outside linebacker or down safety is going to do. If he comes up, you have nobody on the out route or the arrow route there, and quarterback did a nice job reading that.
Yeah, the RPO has been really effective for Wartburg this season. Dodd, just straight pass. That's to Justice Bachman. Gets about 3.
Really nice tackle there by Martinez. You can see him giving up, 3 yards on a little slant. You just can't let it get away from you.
Fake the handoff to Rudd. Now it's Swanstrom with the catch.
So great job there by Davis. He doesn't make the initial tackle, but the receiver trying to block him, he stood him straight up, kind of just broke up the timing of the play and let the cavalry come. Right, when you have a physical corner like that, it makes a huge difference in the quick pass game.
So now it's 3rd and 2 for Wartburg on their opening drive.
And heavy formation here to the defense's right.
Rudd gets the carry right up the middle, and he's got the first down. Going behind the right guard, Cole Holtz, and the right tackle, Drew Streb.
So when you have that tight bunch formation like they had, you're sort of thinking 2 things in the run game. Some sort of outside zone or stretch to the top, or what they ran there, which is a counter back, where you can have that Y off come back through as a lead blocker.
1st and 10, Knights at the Nebraska Wesleyan 36. Simon Ott moving over from right to left. Dodd under some pressure, and he's
nice job by Hankey. Hankey with the strip sack there. Great pursuit. Davis with the recovery.
Huge play by Hunter Hankey, the 5th-year player out of Waverly. He was named Defensive Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago in the American Rivers Conference. Right place at the right time, and Nebraska Wesleyan gets a turnover.
Just a great effort play there. Pass rush takes him past the level of the quarterback, stays in pursuit, and chops down with his arm on the tackle, gets the ball out.
Yeah, he had such a great game against Loris a couple of weeks ago here at Able Stadium. Now we'll see if Nebraska Wesleyan can take advantage of this turnover. Myers
nice.
Again gets through that initial line of scrimmage.
That power play just blocked up on the kick-out block from Anthony Owen. You don't have to, Owen Anthony. You don't have to, drive him to the sideline. You just have to make a little crack there. And Myers is so patient, and just he trusts his block, which is it's just really important for that play because there's almost always going to be a seam there. But the running back has to be patient.
8 carries, 37 yards already for Tristan Myers. White goes underneath. That's Samario Garcia with his 6th catch of the season. He's getting some more playing time at that wide receiver spot.
Yeah, just nice job, sure hands.
Taking what the defense gives you.
Yeah, and, those routine plays are the important ones. You catch it, and it's a nice gain, but if you lose concentration, you're, 3rd and long.
Right. Now it's 3rd and 2, but wow. Connor McDonald just blew up that play.
So they went formation into the boundary, so got their 3 receivers into the boundary and tried to run, their power counter play back here. But that's an example of when the defensive end plays it well. Right? He sort of blew up the lead block, and Tristan wasn't able to pop it outside like he's done on another couple of occasions.
McDonald coming into the game with 9.5 tackles for losses for 30 yards, negative plays. He's a force on that front four for Wartburg.
Yeah.
And a block.
Blocked.
Jason Oboy with the block of the punt. And after Wesleyan got the turnover to stop Wartburg, on its initial drive, Wartburg making a big special teams play and getting the blocked punt. Now they're in business.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell where he came from, but blocked it clean, and Wartburg was able to scoop it up here. So important stand for the Wesleyan defense early here.
Now Wartburg's in the red zone at the Nebraska Wesleyan 19. Dawson Rudd to the left of Dodd. Swanstrom in motion, changes his mind, goes back to the backfield and gets the ball on the handoff. And he's into the end zone. A 19-yard touchdown scamper for the wide receiver, Dylan Swanstrom. Quick strike after the blocked punt, one play, and Wartburg's in the end zone.
Yeah, that's tough after a sudden change like that. It puts a lot of stress on the defense. A well-designed play there. Got him coming in motion, stop him, then running a sort of an outside either pin and pull or outside zone there right where he came from. Get the defense moving one way and then bring it back.
Yeah, Dawson Rudd, the running back leading the way. And that's Jackson Hoppus putting it through. 26 for 27 in extra point attempts, 26 for 28 now in PATs for Hoppus as Wartburg takes a 7-0 lead. All streaming broadcasts on the Prairie Wolves Webcasting Network are brought to you by Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's has one love, quality chicken finger meals. Stop by any of their 4 Lincoln locations after the game for hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, and freshly squeezed lemonade. Raising Cane's is a proud partner of Nebraska Wesleyan University. Things change quickly, don't they?
And I was just thinking, Wartburg is doing a nice job of teams that run a lot of shotgun in their run games out of the shotgun, and they start in one-back formations. There's only so many plays you can run to the same side as the running back and so many you can run across. And that time the running back's lined up on the quarterback's left, but they bring in another back as a receiver. And so you're thinking you're probably not going to run outside to the same side that the running back's on. Motion in a back, and that's exactly what they do. So the one-back and two-back shotgun run teams have to be a little bit creative, and Wartburg it's a well-designed play.
Kevin Proster back deep along with Darius Page, and this one's going to go out of bounds. Man, it's turned out to be a gorgeous afternoon for football.
Yeah, finally got some good fall weather here. Nice and crisp. Sun's out.
46 degrees right now. Wind out of the north at about 10. But the sun has broken through in Lincoln. And Nebraska Wesleyan now here in the second quarter. Man, that first quarter flew by.
It did. Nice grab there by McLaughlin, but you can see now the Wartburg secondary, at least the cornerback, starting to creep up a little bit. We'll see if Wesleyan's maybe trying to set up some sort of out and up or a hitch and go.
Well, that's one thing about Wartburg is, they get that lead and then they just start attacking and putting more and more pressure on the offense.
Yep, they sit in there, or they have been sitting in this too high shell, which makes it hard to get the ball down the field. And I think they're just betting that you're not going to be able to drive.
Myers gets a couple more.
Yeah, not much doing there inside.
Yeah, that's tough sledding in there against Jack Drehos, the defensive tackle. Connor McDonald already with a big play today.
Yeah,
Negative play.
Had Jason O'Boy up there too from his safety spot.
Third and 4 for Connor White. He's got time to throw.
That'll be first down.
Stortenbecker, I think initially had it, then he retreated about a yard or two, and then he was able to spin free just to get it beyond the sticks.
Yeah, great job on the route there, knowing where the sticks were. You see a lot of that, again, all levels of football, where receivers on 3rd and 4 will run a 3-yard hitch and doesn't do them any good. So nice heads-up play by Stortenbecker there, knowing where the sticks were and getting across the line to gain.
And Wesleyan now 4 for 6 on 3rd down conversions.
That's a pretty impressive clip.
Man, Tristan Myers just weaving his way through those little cracks, and he picks up 7 yards.
He's just turned into a really, really good back. Again, just patient, and if he gets a couple yards head start, he is tough to bring down.
Yeah, if he can get to that 2nd level or 3rd level, then he can turn on the jets too. He's got that sprinter speed.
And just, what you like so far, for most of these runs he's finishing, he's falling forward.
Right. Gets the carry again. This time, nothing doing. Loses a couple.
Yeah, Tyler snuffed that out from the get-go. He was downhill immediately. And that's one of those plays where they've got the offensive line pretty well covered up. Nobody had a chance to chip off and get to him.
Yeah, their linebackers are pretty solid. Adam Link there at one of the outside linebacker spots. Keenan Tyler in the middle there, number 33, and number 40, Mac Watt, the other outside linebacker. They got a ton of tackles on the season. Meyer met by Connor Grover.
That was sort of a great play all the way around. Great ball by White. Good job of Myers catching it, knowing he was going to get drilled, and a nice job by the Wartburg cornerback there coming up and making a play short of the first down.
I'd kind of like to see a replay on that.
I know.
I think that spot was pretty close to that 45-yard line.
I agree. It was a pretty violent tackle there by Grover, and I think maybe the refs get fooled a little bit too by the sudden backward action there by the running back, but I think it was pretty darn close.
Yeah, Grover with 44 tackles on the season, and he hit Tristan Myers about as cleanly as you can. Yeah,
he timed it really well, and again, great ball by White there, because if he puts any air underneath that at all.
Get it?
I think so.
Yeah. And Jace Winkler able to convert the field goal for Nebraska Wesleyan to get on the board. Wartburg with the 7-3 lead. Another nice drive by Nebraska Wesleyan, Bren.
Yeah, they're just staying on script and doing what they need to do, right? I don't think we've seen them try to push the ball downfield. They're just kind of taking what's available in the underneath coverages, running the ball effectively. If there's only one nit to pick here, it's that we've been in the red zone a couple times now, and it's only 3 points. You'd like to convert at least one of those opportunities into a touchdown, but hey, you're only down 7-3, 5.5 minutes left in the half. I think you'd take that.
Right, Connor White off to a great start. 15 of 16 throwing the football, 80 yards. And Tristan Myers already with 48 yards on the ground. He's carried the ball 15 times already.
Yeah, it's a good recipe for success for the Wolves.
And he's got 4 catches as well. So 19 touches for the senior running back.
And also, kudos to the Wesleyan offensive line so far. They've really kept White clean. They've been effective in the run game. I think especially of Owen Anthony. He's been pulling a lot, been running behind him a lot. He's done a great job. And really, but for that short field that Wartburg had on the blocked punt.
Yeah, Wesleyan's done a pretty good job. So Aiden Skoda calls for the fair catch on the kickoff. So Wartburg will now get the football at its own 25-yard line. Fake that run. Quick pass to Swanstrom.
Yeah, it's another one of those RPOs. Offensive line's run blocking, but not getting past the line of scrimmage. Read the overhangs. If they come up, you just throw it in the window. Now they're going fast again.
Picked up the first down there. Dodd throws it underneath to Joey Anderson. He can scoot. I mean, you look at this running back combo between Dawson Rudd and Joey Anderson for Wartburg. Rudd's run for 561 yards on the season. Joey Anderson, the backup, 598. That's 5.3 yards per carry for Rudd and 6 yards per carry for Anderson. Rudd had 3 touchdowns last week against Central on the ground.
Pretty good balance.
Yeah.
Nice job by Denoso there. Little split inside zone where they bring in their wing back or their slot back across the formation. Zone blocking up front. Denoso got in there. Made a play at the line of scrimmage, really.
Big third down for Nebraska Wesleyan here. Trying to stop Wartburg on 3rd and 1. This game, this first half so far has, I think, gone exactly the way Brian Keller wants it to go. Shorten the game, keep the clock running.
Yep.
And don't give up huge plays.
Nice
Man,
job.
and Anderson got met in the hole, and I don't think he got it. Oh,
that's a generous spot.
Generous spot, but it's going to be just short.
Yeah.
By about a half a yard.
Nice swarming there by the Wesleyan defense.
Man, Chris Winter doesn't hesitate. He's going to go for it on 4th and less than 1. Lowest pads win, right? Dodd gives it to Anderson, and he's able to surge forward to pick up the first down.
Wartburg averts a little bit what could have been disastrous there. Dodd slipped out of or tripped over maybe one of his offensive linemen's legs and was going to the ground. Barely got the handoff. But again, good job by Wesleyan. Even though they couldn't get off the field there, they're making Wartburg earn every yard. So no explosive plays so far.
Anderson with the carry, cuts it up for about 3. Carlos Porter in on the stop for Nebraska Wesleyan.
Like maybe Lucian was at the bottom of that pile too. 93.
Yeah, Carson Lucian has also come on and played some really good football here the last half of the season. Senior from Greeley, Colorado, 13 tackles on the season, 2.5 tackles for loss. Dodd looking for a receiver. Tried to get it to Swanstrom late.
Looked like a little confusion there from Wartburg. Their receivers were blocking downfield. I don't know if they were trying to set up a screen or some other pass behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe got taken away. And
yeah, it was strange because they were all bunched up over there right on about the 45-yard line in front of their sideline.
A little discombobulated.
Well, that's
nice
to see from the number 7 team in the country.
Yeah, they start sort of slow, and Wesleyan did a good job controlling the ball, and you sort of wonder, well, are they going to snap out of a funk or kind of put their foot on the gas here? But Wesleyan has done a really good job of controlling this game, and really played even with or even outplayed Wartburg here, notwithstanding the block punt and that short field touchdown.
Yeah, Nebraska Wesleyan with 32 plays for 130 yards, 16 plays for Wartburg, just 84 yards.
So Wartburg has 16 snaps with 2 minutes left in the first half. You will take that every day, all day. I mean, that is incredibly low number of both possessions and snaps. And, of course, the great strip sack from Hunter Hankey certainly helped that out.
Opportunity for the Nebraska Wesleyan defense to get off the field here on 3rd and 7. Dodd takes a couple steps back. The
Good
pocket
pressure.
collapses. Lucian chasing him. Nicely done by Carson Lucian.
Great hustle. And you get off the field. Great
Yes.
stop.
How about this stat? Time of possession, Nebraska Wesleyan 20 minutes and 4 seconds. Wartburg 4:14.
It's a recipe for an upset. I think they're maybe talking. I wonder if they're talking here if that might have been intentional grounding. Now it looks like they're going to keep it as incomplete. And
yeah, probably the biggest question was, did it make it back to the line of scrimmage? Because he was outside of the tackle box, I think.
He was. Yep.
So Jackson Hoppus also handles the punting duties as well as the place kicking duties for Wartburg. Kick into the wind. Fielded by Nebraska Wesleyan. I think that was Darius Page.
Jim, you've been watching Wesleyan football games for a long time. I think you know how notoriously hard it is to field punts at this time of the day, headed to the south.
Yeah.
The sun is not friendly for punt returners on this end of the field. So you'd like maybe for him to catch that clean, but it is a challenge.
But at least we didn't go backwards on that. But minute 37, Nebraska Wesleyan would probably like nothing more than to be able to get a little drive here and even be content to just run out the clock and keep the Wartburg offense off the field.
I agree completely.
Nice run again.
Yeah. Just a good job caving the offensive line or the defensive line down and bouncing the ball out.
That's Jackson Byers, the junior from Lincoln East, getting the carry and about 9 yards.
But so that's one of the weak spots of this defense. When you've got those overhangs clear out of the box, it is hard for them to climb into the box and be able to make an impact on the play.
2 tight ends set for Nebraska Wesleyan. They'll take the out to Joey McLaughlin.
And that time you saw the overhangs crept up, and great job by White and McLaughlin. Just, again, all right, you don't want your overhangs out there? We'll just take a little 5-yard, 6-yard out for the first down.
White tries to get it to McLaughlin, and I think he just wisely, with bodies at his feet, throws that out of bounds.
Yeah, that's maybe the first I don't want to say bad ball because he could have thrown a pick there. He got the ball out of his hand and threw it away. And that's the upside of the way Wartburg structured their defense, right? It's just going to be really hard to push the ball down the field. And with 52 seconds left in the half, they're going to be pretty content to keep stuff in front of them.
Yep, still with the two high safeties. Ferris motion, but now we've got a flag as Jackson Byers gets the carry and tries to get to the left corner. It's been a pretty clean ball game.
Has been.
Just the second penalty of the game, and this one I think is going to go against Nebraska Wesleyan as well. A little discussion with Chris Winters, the head coach for Wartburg.
I think they're going to maybe decline it, and since there was no gain on the play. So if you want to...
So it's going to be third and long now.
You're going to try to get a stop here and force a punt and maybe see if they can get another big play on special teams.
Yeah.
So interesting strategy there. We've been talking about the two high safeties. So Wesleyan's been able to make a little hay on the outside run game. Looked like Wartburg switched to cover 2 there, which keeps both safeties deep but brings the cornerbacks up to play the flat. And so that ball bounced, and instead of the cornerback being deep, he was up and was able to make that play. That's sort of a answer if you want to stay too high and you're getting beat on the outside. It's a change up from a more traditional quarters where your cornerbacks are getting out.
Well, one thing that this front four loves to do is pin their ears back and try to get after the quarterback on third and long. So what do you try to do to neutralize this pass rush of Wartburg here on 3rd and 9?
Yeah, I think if you're expecting a lot of pressure, I like kind of a screen pass. Although the offensive line has been holding up very well, and so if you can, get McLaughlin sat down in another window someplace. Wartburg hasn't shown a lot of man. I don't know that this is the time to run man. They've got the clock on their side.
Right now, McLaughlin matched up with appears to be Connor Grover right here at the bottom of your screen. And they'll hand it off to Jackson Byers. You can see Wartburg trying to go for the strip.
Yeah, so that's Coach Keller wanting to make sure that they have to burn a timeout. I don't think he wants to run the risk of throwing an incomplete pass. Having a punt, give them the ball back with more timeouts.
Teammates Mentoring's mission is to positively impact the world by inspiring students to reach their full potential through mentoring. Teammates has served more than 51,000 since its inception in 1991, but there are still students on the waiting list. Head over to teammates.org to learn more information about how you can help take one more student off that waiting list by becoming a mentor. Join the team, be a mentor. Teammates Mentoring, the official sponsor of Nebraska Wesleyan University Athletics. 7-3 advantage. Wartburg over Nebraska Wesleyan. 38 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, Wesleyan, if you can get to the half here, 7-3, Wartburg is going to get the ball coming out of half, but you've set yourself up to. That's what you want against a nationally ranked team. Going into the second half, a chance to win the game.
Swanstrom back, waiting to receive the punt for Wartburg. Winkler with the wind to his back. Swanstrom takes it at about the 30-yard line.
Yeah, nice coverage there. That was a fairly low kick, but great job hustling down there by the coverage team.
So a nice 13-yard return by Dylan Swanstrom. He's going to give Wartburg the ball at their own 46-yard line. They only have one timeout left, though. 27 seconds to go here.
Yeah, we'll see how aggressive they get. You're kind of going into the wind here, I think, a little bit. one timeout.
Dodd is going to throw. He's had plenty of time underneath. He finds Joey Anderson, who snuck out of the backfield. And there's...
Yeah, Carlos Porter maybe got there a little late.
And Nebraska Wesleyan's had some of those issues with some of those penalties that are preventable, as Brian Keller calls them.
You like the aggressiveness, but you just can't do it. You just have to have the awareness, the field awareness to know you have to pull off of that.
So another 15 yards tacked onto it is just about putting Wartburg into field goal position.
You know, the secondary play from Wesleyan here has been really good. He hasn't had anywhere to go to down the field, and you sort of look down and, you know, Wesleyan's got all the routes matched up really well.
Wesleyan showing blitz, but Donoso backs out. Dodd looking for receivers. Finds Anderson again.
Play.
Man, he's in there pass protecting, and then all of a sudden he sneaks out and he's wide open. Now we're kind of getting to the point where we're within Jackson Hoppus range. He's made 8 out of 14 on the year, and he's had a longest of 39 yards.
It was a nice play by Julius German there, getting him on the ground. You missed that one-on-one tackle, and
he's got green grass in front of him.
It's trouble. It's trouble. So 9 seconds left in the half. You maybe have time for a play if you're going to run an out route or the ball. If you're Wartburg, the ball's got to get out of bounds, and you know Wesleyan, you just want to be equally as aware of the clock.
Yeah, this would be close to his season long. But they are going to run a play as Dodd trots out. Can't miss those orange shoes.
No, it's quite a statement. So if you're Wesleyan, if you can get them down in bounds, that's the goal here.
Dodd looking to the sideline. Going to try for the end zone and throws it away.
Yeah, great job.
5 seconds left on the clock now.
Great job on the coverage there by Wesleyan.
And the field goal unit's going to come onto the field.
And we saw earlier a little tricky kick in this direction, I think.
Yeah, you're still going into the wind here. Still steady at 10 miles an hour. So we're looking at a 38-yard field goal attempt for Hoppus. And Wesleyan going to ice the kicker a little bit.
I assume that's what the timeout's for. I don't know, Jim. Have you ever seen a longitudinal study on whether that works or not? Just sort of feels like something everybody does, and.
You know, in my SID days, I probably did. Swoboda probably asked me for a stat like that, and I had to figure it out.
That's probably and that was back when you were, you know, cutting VHS tape.
Right, and hand typing play-by-play sheets.
Yeah.
Yeah, go through those 40 pages of game notes and see what you can come up with from the last 6 games, if that really works.
Yeah. Back in the, just give us all the cut-ups of the inside run game. I mean, 7 VCRs and 4 arms to do it.
Hoppus, nowhere
chance.
near it. Nope.
No chance.
No chance whatsoever. And the Wesleyan defense is fired up and heading to the locker room, trailing number 7 Wartburg 7-3 in a great first half by Nebraska Wesleyan.
Couldn't ask for much better. Again, I think really outplayed Wartburg, controlled the clock. Would have liked a few more points out of the red zone trip, but it's never going to be perfect when you're trying to pull off an upset.
Well, we'll be back with second half action here from Able Stadium in just a few minutes. Wartburg leading 7-3. Welcome back to the second half here from Able Stadium. Wartburg leads Nebraska Wesleyan 7-3. I'm Jim Angeli along with Bren Chambers here. Really, Bren, looking at the first half, Brian Killer probably couldn't be any happier. I mean, maybe if he'd have gotten that other field goal to go through, it'd be 7-6, but a great first half for Nebraska Wesleyan to keep Wartburg in check.
Yeah, great execution on the game plan. We were just looking at the stats. The time of possession just really pops off the sheet. Wesleyan had the ball for 21 minutes and 14 seconds to 8 minutes and 46 seconds for Wartburg. Wartburg only got 20 snaps off, which is, we were just talking, some coaches script the first 10 or 15 plays. So great job by the Wesleyan defense not allowing Wartburg to get into any sort of rhythm offensively. And then great patience by Wesleyan's offensive game plan in being content to take what Wartburg is giving them and not trying to force stuff down the field. So, it only resulted in 3 points, but you like their chances if they're able to stay with that game plan and execute.
So the kickoff goes to Skoda, and he's able to scoot out to almost the 40-yard line. So good field position for Wartburg on its first possession here in the second half.
So we'll see if they've adjusted their game plan at all. They tried to go fast a couple times, weren't really able to get much going there. Again, just not a lot of rhythm. The few times they ran the ball, they were fairly successful.
This is Rudd.
Oh, boy.
Running out of room, but.
So Donoso and Porter, and really Porter did a great job there of holding the edge. So kept his outside arm free and really strung the play out. And once you can get the running backs running side to side, gives time for the rest of the defense to get there.
5 carries for 27 yards for Rudd. He's going to get another carry. Oh, no, this is Dodd keeping it. He doesn't do that very often. Nice tackle by Gian Aguilar.
Interesting option there. I don't know if big number 85 out there, Matt Dufault, was a pitch man but a nice job pulling the ball there by Dodd.
Yeah, usually Defoe is primarily a blocker and a pass catcher up the seam. He's got 17 catches. But now it's 3rd and short, and Dodd is going to try to throw for it, and he's able to get the ball to Jagger Schmidt.
Yeah, so good ball there by Dodd. I think they were trying to either play action or RPO that. We're looking for the arrow route. It was covered, and he did a good job of getting that ball kind of into the second level.
But Wartburg on the move. Here to open up the second half. The quick pitch. Nicely defended by Nebraska Wesleyan. Aguilar came in like a missile.
Yeah, he was all over that. And I talked a little bit earlier how there's only so many plays you can run to the side that the running back is lined up on. That toss is one of them, but the timing just is always a little bit awkward, or it's just a slower developing play than when you run a pitch when you're lined up under center. And Aguilar did a great job reading that and just completely disrupting it.
That's a 5-yard loss for Wartburg, putting them behind the sticks.
Another blitz.
Pass is behind Swanstrom.
Yeah.
Now it's 3rd and real long.
Great pressure there right up the middle. I think I couldn't tell if that was Porter or Donoso, but came clean and made Dodd get the ball out of his hand quickly.
Chance for Nebraska Wesleyan to get a huge stop to start the second half. Dodd in the shotgun. Defoe is going to adjust and go out for a pass play. Beautiful catch by Swanstrom.
Catch.
Diving catch by the junior from Lamont, Illinois. Couple of big plays by Swanstrom here to keep this drive alive.
Yeah, it looked like maybe a little cover 3 out of Wesleyan there, and just got that ball snuck in between the linebackers and the deep safety.
Chevy Curry and Parker Saladay coming in on that defensive line for Nebraska Wesleyan. Quick out. Goes to Schmidt.
So Dodd already looks a little sharper this half than he did in the first. He's finding a little bit of rhythm there.
And they're taking their time, too, waiting to get that play in. Rudd is going to be to the right of Leo Dodd. Stacked wide receiver set. Here on the near side, Ott is behind Bachman, and they're going to run it to the left. And Rudd's going to have success in terms of getting the first down, but he's going to hobble to the sidelines.
You know, those plays are tough. It makes your corner tackle. I thought Davis did a good job there, but you know, if you can avoid penetration initially, it's tough for a corner to make that play for a negative or a short gain. Probably a pretty good play call there to get the first down.
Wartburg inside the red zone. First trip by the offense this half. Yeah, and that little reverse to Swanstrom, which worked for a 19-yard touchdown after the blocked punt by Oboy in the first half, was almost successful again.
Yeah, it's the Wesleyan's giving Wartburg the same look Wartburg's giving Wesleyan, at least on that play. Kind of a 4-1 with your overhangs spread out, and if you can get somebody to either pin down or reach that overhang, there's a lot of green out there.
So Swanstrom picks up 8. So it's 2nd and 2. Dodd, nice play design. As that goes to Jake Schmidt, the tight end. Or Schultz, excuse me.
Yeah, so they
Jake Schultz
run that slide route to the H-back. He comes across in motion. Instead of blocking the defensive end, he just slides on out. And unless you're in, cover 2 or, cover 2 or some sort of trap corner situation, he's got enough momentum that he's going to out-leverage your overhang players, and it's a tough play.
I need to correct myself. That is the third number 81. That's Sam Heather.
Wartburg does. They have a big roster.
And man, a block. Extra point attempt off the foot of Hoppus.
Well, if you're Wartburg, that's a good response.
Yeah, it is.
They hadn't gotten really any momentum. They converted a couple of big third downs there. And if you're Wesleyan, you maybe had some chances there to get off the field. But, again, you're playing a top 10 nationally ranked team. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, 10 plays, 61 yards on that drive. And we talked about how Wartburg ran just 20 plays in the first half. Off to a good start here with their first drive of the second half, as they've opened up a 10-point lead here in Lincoln. Now Nebraska Wesleyan's offense has really got to answer.
Yeah, got to respond here. And you still have plenty of time. The game's well within reach, but you'd like to see a drive for some points here.
And this one's going to sail to the end zone and for a touchback. Nebraska Wesleyan fans make an impact with the Prairie Wolves by joining the W Club. Gifts made through the W Club enable the athletic department to enrich the experience of hundreds of Nebraska Wesleyan student athletes. Join the W Club today by visiting nwusports.com. Prairie Wolves' first opportunity the second half with the football. White.
Complete there to Horner.
Yeah, Horner's done a nice job. Fourth catch of the afternoon for Corbin Horner, junior out of Benkelman, Nebraska.
Nice positive play there on first down. Stay ahead of the sticks.
Yeah, White was looking to his right, and then he came all the way back. I think he went through every receiver that he had in the route before he found Corbin Horner.
Yeah, did a good job not forcing that ball up top.
Smith and Ferris adjust. Trying to find some room for Tristan Myers over there.
Yeah.
Picks up a couple.
That time Tyler came clean again and made a nice tackle, but again, Myers is falling forward there, so instead of 3rd and 5, you end up with 3rd and 2.
13th tackle on the afternoon for Keenan Tyler.
Yeah, he's been active, I think is the right word.
That's a good way to describe that. Third and 2. Nebraska Wesleyan's going to throw, and it's a sack.
Well, that's big Jake Walker in on that. And really the first, real pressure that's affected the quarterback.
6th sack of the season for the junior from Waverly, Iowa, the hometown kid for Wartburg. Losing 8 on that play. Now Nebraska Wesleyan's got a punt.
Maybe it's like Wartburg jumped off sides here.
Blake Jansen trying to get a head start maybe.
Yeah.
But still, Nebraska Wesleyan's going to kick this football away. No doubt about that.
Maybe we can talk him into it again. False start our way to a first down.
Winkler averaging 40.26 yards per punt on the season. Straight up in the air as there was pressure in his face.
Yeah, Wesleyan's, they run their up backs there. You maybe like to see him step up into that contact a little bit more. The Wartburg rushes, they blocked one. I think definitely affected that punt. He was into the wind, but I had somebody right in his face.
Yeah, Winkler just really couldn't extend that leg. Now I'm sure having that block punt in that first half is in the back of his mind.
Gets in your head a little bit.
Prime real estate for Wartburg in Wesleyan territory. Bachman with the catch. Looks like they're trying to get Leo Dodd on the move now a little bit more than what they did in the first half.
I was just going to say that. Jimmy looks a lot more comfortable kind of rolling to his right here and just letting the receiver get some separation from the cornerback coming back to him. It's got him into a little bit of a rhythm now. If you're Wesleyan, really need to come up with some sort of negative play here. Tackle for loss, a sack, something to get Wartburg off schedule.
7-yard pickup on the pitch and catch to Bachman. And Rudd's going to get the carry. Plenty of room up the middle. Jackson Barron trying to strip that football away from Dawson Rudd. Nothing doing there. And it's a first down for Wartburg.
Yeah, so another version of the split zone. You bring somebody across the line of scrimmage to kick out the end man. Just moves the gaps a little bit. Good movement from the interior offensive line out of Wartburg. If you're Wesleyan, you're maybe in the danger zone a little bit here. You need to get a stop and get your offense back on the field.
Another carry by Rudd. Chevy Curry got in the backfield, but Rudd was able to avoid him.
Aguilar on the tackle there. Or same version of the inside zone play they've been running. They're starting to get a little movement on the Wesleyan defensive line.
Braden Plotz over there at left tackle. Maverick Stapley playing at left guard for Wartburg. As it's 2nd and 5. Little reverse pivot action as they tried to get the ball to Defoe.
Yeah, same little boot action and trying to hit that slide route. It's a little wonky there. They're on the hash and we're going into the boundary. They were in the middle of the field, but the timing just looked a little bit off. There wasn't a lot of movement, a lot of room to operate there.
Wartburg 3 for 5 on 3rd downs this afternoon. Need to pick up 5. Get to the Wesleyan 15 to keep this drive going. And the throw
Incomplete.
is behind the receiver, Schmidt.
Nice pressure there out of Wesleyan. I like the look. They had the inside linebacker walked up. He bailed out, and the overhang came at the snap untouched. That was Aguilar, I think, forcing the ball out of his hand.
So Wartburg deciding to go for it here on 4th and 5.
All right, so big opportunity for Wesleyan to get off the field here.
That's Swanstrom in motion. Dodd with that bootleg again. They're trying to get it to Defoe, and then
Nice job.
Dodd couldn't find anybody open.
Nope, run down by Donoso, and I couldn't tell who it was, but on the right side of the Wesleyan defense there, they running a boot. They were trying to get either the tight end or a back out, and it might have been the Aguilar or the other out, or another linebacker flipped and kind of ran with the tight end and just took it away. It was great awareness.
That's about the 3rd time we've seen that play,
Yep.
so we better shut that down.
Yeah, he did a good job. It's hard when it's coming at you.
That was Garcia in motion, and then, man, a wave of white jerseys coming across the line to nail Tristan Myers in the backfield.
Yeah, so Jake Walker's starting to assert himself a little bit. You know, Wesleyan was fairly successful running the ball in the first half because they really prevented penetration from the front four. I think we've seen these first 2 series now. The Wartburg D-line starting to win some of those battles.
And that's the overall strength of this football team, I think.
Oh, great job.
Great job to be able to keep your head up and find Joey McLaughlin.
So Wartburg, looks like maybe a flag down. So that's going to be a hold.
Oh, I see it at the 11-yard line.
So you were just saying, Jim, the strength is the front four, and I agree completely. They don't blitz very much. They're starting to get pressure with their front four, and that leaves you all of your coverages available on the back end.
Yeah, they don't need to bring the pressure. Those guys, those guys know how to get to the quarterback.
No, we're starting to see this in the second half now. They're generating pressure. They're getting a holding call. So if you're the Wesleyan offensive line, you got to sort of, tighten up your chin strap a little bit and try to match the intensity and the physicality now.
Now it's second and 22. And now you can just play coverage and try to cover up the short routes. Nothing deep.
Ball got out there pretty quick to McLaughlin, but, on 1st and 10, a gain of 3 yards is okay. On, 2nd and 17, it's not as helpful. Well, they do know they're playing a little bit more cover 2. The corners are being a little more aggressive. There might be an opportunity to get the ball down the field.
Three wide receivers here to the near side of the field. White's looking in that direction, but, man, he's under pressure. McDonald in there on top of him, and another lineman at the bottom of the pile.
So this is a little more of the Wartburg defense I think we were expecting, Jim.
That's exactly what Wartburg wants to do, is get that front four, get all the pressure, get the sacks. I mean, they are sack machines.
Yeah.
Walker's got 5. Drehos has got 4. McDonald's got 6.5. And Owen Hatcher's got 3 sacks on the season. That doesn't even count the quarterback hurries.
Yeah.
Not a great punt.
No.
It's going to be scooped up by Swanstrom. And, man, a really, really short field. As Wartburg's going to start at the Wesleyan 20.
Yeah, punting into the wind, which looks like it's maybe picked up a little bit, and Wartburg has gotten tremendous pressure on Wesleyan's punt team up the middle, and that's the last place you want to be pressured as a punter, because it's all just right in front of you. You can see it coming. It's probably affecting the punt game a little bit.
Now the Wesleyan defense has really got a bow its neck to keep this a 2-score game.
Watch that outside run now.
And Swanstrom
And
gets
reverse.
it into reverse. That's Schmidt. Gets to the edge. And down to the 5-yard line. Call it the 6.
It's like maybe a Wesleyan player down.
And not moving. Jason Endrud sprinting over there. Special thanks goes out to the Nebraska Wesleyan University team physicians from the Nebraska Orthopedic Center, sports medicine specialists from the Nebraska Orthopedic Center, provide countless hours of care to ensure that the Prairie Wolves are able to get back out on the field. Thank you, Nebraska Orthopedic Center, for taking care of our Prairie Wolves.
Like maybe Parker Saladay down, 57.
Yeah, at least he was able to roll over. He was flat. Now he's getting up and walking off on his own power.
Good to see. He's one of those high motor kids. He had a nice play in the first half where he chased down a running back from behind. Just a great effort player. And a nice wrinkle out of Wartburg there. They've shown that same kind of motion on a couple of outside runs, and good offensive coordinators always have a wrinkle or two off of the same look, and that one they got the reverse off of that outside sweep action.
Good for 14 yards by Jagger Schmidt. Eight seconds on the play clock for Wartburg. They may have to take a timeout here, and they do.
Yeah, they use a lot of pre-snap motion, so just not enough time to get that play off.
Yeah, they just want to make the defense think with all that pre-snap motion.
Yeah, it just, it gives them an idea whether it's a man or a zone coverage. It can manipulate the gaps a little bit, just a little bit of eye candy sometimes. They use it both, in the run game to get kick-out blocks, and then that slide out into the flat. But it takes time, and
right.
when you're trying to rush and get a play off, it's not helpful.
And it seems to be, one of the things that's, I think, helped Wartburg is they've slowed down. They're not rushing to the line and trying to hurry things up. They're a little more methodical.
I agree completely.
Joey Anderson behind Dodd now. He gets the carry with the lead blocker. Nice job by Jackson Barron.
Yeah, Wesleyan did a good job stringing that play out, getting it running side to side, and Jackson Barron did a nice job cleaning it up. That starts with Hankey there on the end, helping string that out.
So just a gain of 1. It's going to bring up 2nd and goal from the 5. Anderson gets the carry.
Oh, boy.
And he dives in, and he's going to be just short. He's got 6 touchdowns on the season, almost got number 7 there, but the knee hit right before he crossed the goal line.
And a huge kick-out block there from one of the 81s on Wartburg's roster.
I think that's Heather.
Okay. He took advantage of that. The last couple times they've slid him out into the flat, and I think maybe we were expecting that, and he laid a huge kick-out block there.
For a freshman, he's a big kid, and he does some damage.
Yeah.
Anderson bounces off the pile, and he's in.
Yeah. So Wartburg doing a good job taking advantage of having the wind at their back this quarter, and I probably almost flipped the time of possession to where it's probably close to even now, I would guess.
Getting there. It's getting there. But really and truly, it's been their special teams that have really done a nice job to.
No, you're right. The whole half has been played on this side of the 50, it seems like.
And to really just kind of frustrate the punt game for Nebraska Wesleyan, which has turned into short fields and opportunities. I mean, you only have to go 20 yards for a TD. It makes it really tough on the defense.
The good news, Wesleyan's about 50 seconds away from getting the wind at their back.
Right.
The bad news is it's hard to get explosive plays against Wartburg's defense, and 17 points is not insurmountable, but they got to get to work and get some points on the board.
When you're heading home after the game, head on over to Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. Cane's hand-battered chicken fingers. Craveable cane sauce is the perfect way to feed your post-game appetite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
I want to give a shout-out to the only Wartburg alum I know, former Wesleyan alum and a former teammate and friend of mine. Well, he's a current friend of mine, but Bob Anderson, his dad, Larry Anderson, who's maybe at home watching webcasts, used to come down to Lincoln when Wartburg came to town. So shout out Larry. Can't say go Knights, but
Bobby Anderson, one of my favorites. Punter and receiver.
Yeah. Hurdler and track, decathlete.
Yep. Nice return for Nebraska Wesleyan. That was Dylan Proctor.
Yeah, that was good. So got out of the hole a little bit here and have a little field position to work with. Just have to avoid some of those negative plays that have come up. Connor did a really good job getting the ball out of his hand on time in the first half. it's been a more of an issue here, probably because Wartburg's tightened up their coverage a little bit on the back end. But if the ball doesn't come out, you're putting yourself at risk for a sack, and you got to get back on schedule here.
Tristan Myers trying to find some room. He weaves his way back into the middle of the field. Picks up about 4.
Yeah, it's a good hard run.
And that was the formula in the first half.
Yep.
Take 4 or 5 yards. Don't get behind the sticks. Really no negative plays by the Wesleyan offense. Very few. Trying to stay on schedule. White. Nice little throw to Stortenbecker, but
yeah, that's the other thing Wesleyan was able to avoid in the first half is kind of unforced errors.
right.
You know, a catch we've seen Stortenbecker make over and over, and he's had a really good game. We probably need to have that one. You know, I think the other thing you'd like to see, you know, down, well, I guess we're about ready to run out a quarter here, but I'd like to see Wesleyan start offense running plays a little faster. Got 3 scores to make up.
2 seconds to go here in the third quarter. It's 3rd and 7 for Wesleyan. Guntel with the catch, but he's well short of the sticks.
And I'd like to see that route run just a little bit deeper.
Picked up 5, he needed 7, and now the quarter ends. So Wesleyan will head over to the north side of the field and punt with the wind at its back. And it looks like exactly what they'll do is, looks like the punt team's huddled up around Paul Harris, special teams coordinator, defensive backs coach for Nebraska Wesleyan. And now Ryan Stortenbecker back to punt.
Sure he'll be pleased to not be kicking into the wind.
And we trade between Winkler and Stortenbecker.
As much pressure as Wartburg's gotten, you'd like to probably want the punter to speed up just a little bit. Again, it's a whole team operation.
Swanstrom camping out at his own 25-yard line, now moving up to the 30. Now the officials are ready. Final 15 minutes here in Lincoln. Wartburg up 20-3 over Nebraska Wesleyan. Swanstrom's going to let it bounce, and then he dives on it.
Dangerous.
That was really dangerous. Owen Long was right there in his face, waiting for a miscue and a loose ball. But Wartburg now takes over, gets the ball back once again.
Good job of Wesleyan flipping the field, though.
Heather in motion. They fake the run and get it to Heather. And there's that tight end.
Yeah.
We've seen that. That's at least the 4th time today. This time it goes for a big play.
Yeah, he's a big athletic kid. He's been in the middle of that punt return team for Wartburg too. That's been putting pressure on our punter.
Nebraska Wesleyan with another player down. So Heather has, coming into the game, has caught 3 balls for 63 yards, a 21-yard reception average. That's one of his shorter catches on the season.
He turned on the jets a little bit there. Good acceleration from he's a pretty lanky-looking kid. I don't have his height and weight here, but
yeah, sorry, I ran out of room.
Yeah,
so many players on the sheet.
That's when the Wartburg has always carried a big roster. Up in Waverly, Iowa, but not too far from Cedar Falls. A fairly decent drive from Des Moines. There's a lot of kids up in that area. A lot of good football up there too, high school football.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting too. You can pull kids from the Twin Cities and
Yep.
that area of southeast Minnesota, and really good, solid program. Great football program. Dodd fakes that handoff, straight drop back, plenty of time to throw the ball. He's trying to get it to Schmidt.
Maybe got a little greedy there. He actually had Rudd wide open after he faked it to him. Rudd leaked out of the backfield and tried to push the ball down the field instead, and Caden Rose almost made him pay for it.
Yeah, that was a nice job by Caden Rose. Yeah, I think with Dodd having that much time, he thought might as well take a shot, but tough to do into that wind. Rudd. And I think we're going to have a face mask.
Yeah, I do too. Which is too bad. Wesleyan was really swarming to the ball there.
Did a nice job of
Hankey and
forcing him to the sideline on that short side of the field.
Yep. But I think you're right. I think we got to grab the face mask. That's one of those plays you don't like, but not much you can do. It's just going to happen, right? Hankey's flying to the ball, and just unfortunate on the timing there.
6th penalty against Nebraska Wesleyan, or excuse me, 5th penalty on Nebraska Wesleyan. Only 1 penalty on Wartburg.
Isn't it supposed to be the opposite when we're at home, Jim?
We are the lone Nebraska school in this conference.
Well,
yes, I said that.
Which we're very happy to be.
Which we are. Swanstrom again. Man, he is quick.
Yeah, he is.
And now the Wartburg offense is getting into rhythm here.
Yeah, it's interesting. They've found a way to get Dodd out of the pocket, and you'd maybe like to see Wesleyan either adjust their pass rush or trigger somebody from the second level right away to make him pull up a little bit.
On the move again. Dropped by Schmidt. And he was open. Dodd put it right in his hands.
Yeah.
Just tried to turn and go up the field a little too quickly.
And they're using that Y or tight end motion to really confuse the ends. One play they're turning back and pinning them so the quarterback can get out. The next play they're kind of chipping them and running to the flat, giving the ends a lot of different looks, which makes it hard to defend those rollouts.
Rudd finding room around that right edge.
Oh, nice tackle by Donoso there.
Juan just does a nice job of flowing with the play and finding an opening and trying to hunt down that ball carrier.
Yeah, it's good. And Rudd's he's 5'8", 175. Those backs that size, they can be hard to tackle because it's hard to get leverage on them. And Donoso did a great job being really physical on that play.
Empty backfield for Wartburg. Nebraska Wesleyan bringing pressure. Nice little throw underneath to Swanstrom again. But
good job by the D line there. Really, we brought two inside linebackers. Dodd, I think, tried to throw it where the pressure was coming from, and the defensive line did a good job of retracing steps and holding them short.
Yeah, but Swanstrom's 2 yards short of the line to gain. Now it's going to be 4th and 2.
Another chance for a 4th down stop here.
Wartburg 1 for 2 on the afternoon of converting their 4th down attempts. Heather in motion. And Dodd, quick little throw to Heather, and that's going to be a touchdown. $16-yard TD for Wartburg as they extend the lead.
They've made a lot of hay out of that same action.
As they've got some good looking physical tight ends.
Yeah, it's a tough play to stop, right? Your defensive end isn't quite sure what to expect, and again, unless you have a corner who's playing a trap technique or a cover 2 technique, there's just nobody out there.
So Hoppus will try the PAT. Man, this one is good. Nebraska Wesleyan fans make an impact with the Prairie Wolves by becoming a member of the W Club. Gifts made through the W Club enable the athletic department to provide hundreds of student athletes with a quality and memorable intercollegiate athletic experience. By joining the W Club, you're helping to make a difference in bettering a student athlete in competition and giving them an experience that will go well beyond their time here on campus. Find out how you can join the W Club today by visiting nwusports.com. Wesleyan goes to Storm Lake, Iowa next week to face the Beavers of Buena Vista and then wrap things up in the regular season at home here on November 15th against Simpson College.
We were talking at halftime a little bit, Jim. Wesleyan has played exceptionally well in parts of about every game, and just haven't quite put a full game together in the conference. But
it's hard to believe that we've only got one win.
Yeah, it's you look at how we played in the first half here against a top 10 team and really outplayed them for the most part. Wartburg's started to assert its will a little bit, get settled in with what they wanted to do offensively, and
well, the depth and experience this team has, you knew they weren't going to panic.
No, I mean, any team with 3 number 81s is
it's confusing enough for us. Yeah.
Once you have all the 81s, you're going to be tough to beat. A nice play there.
Yeah, Stortenbecker finding a little bit of room, and he picks up 10 yards.
And that's been the recipe. It has just been awfully difficult to get any explosive plays. Most games Meyer's able to break one off for 20, 30 yards. We're able to hit McLaughlin down the field, and for as well as the offense played in the first half, we just haven't been able to do that.
Wow, Tristan Myers stonewalled at the original line of scrimmage, and then he bounces it outside. Look at Connor Grover trying to strip the ball.
Yeah.
Jason O'Boy making the tackle, stood him up, and then Connor Grover coming in trying to rip out the football. Nice job by Tristan to hang on.
That's, that shows up as a 2-yard run in the box score, but that could have easily been a 5-yard loss.
White gets rid of it quickly.
Yeah. Nice protection there.
Yeah, nice job by Samario Garcia.
Bowling's had to match up against Jake Walker all game. He did a really nice job there. And again, when Connor's been able to throw on schedule, he's done it and had some time. He's done a nice job.
He's 22 for 25 in the game, 112 yards. I mean, you'd be pretty happy with that.
It tells me he's not trying to force the ball in.
Tristan Myers finally with some room to run, and he's able to get a first down.
Yeah, and that's where we were able to get some positive yardage in the first half, and some of the bigger runs there, getting him to bounce it outside just a little bit, and he did a great job of not trying to keep pushing that to the sideline, but getting his foot in the ground and then getting north and south.
I'm going to say this, but if he's listening, he's not going to be happy with me. That was Bobby Wright-esque. 22. You see that number, 22, and he'd go up into the middle and then flash outside and pick up some yardage.
Yeah, Wesleyan Hall of Famer, I think, Bobby Wright. It's the flare screen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bobby got a look with the Broncos.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
He came back and coached my freshman year as well. He did. That was
interesting.
We had a lot of interesting staffs and coaching staff members in my time here. So that flare screen's been a really good play for Wesleyan all year, but Wartburg's done a really good job of responding to it. Haven't been able to get much going with that today.
White under a little bit of pressure, and there's the interception, that mistake.
Yeah.
And a big return coming up. Man, that is what that pass rush will do. As Sam Rose gets his 4th interception of the season. And he knows what to do with the football when he gets it in his hands. And
yeah, felt a little inevitable. You get behind the sticks and you're down 27-3. You want to start getting the ball down the field a little bit more, and just a great break on the ball there. And to be fair to Connor White, you got 8.5 minutes left in the game. You have to start trying to get the ball down the field.
Connor McDonald being helped off by Jack Drejos. Another short field for the Knights.
Yeah, and another series for the Wesleyan defense. Feels like they've been out a bunch in the second half here.
Swanstrom in motion. They fake the handoff to him, and Dodd is scrambling around. He's going to take it himself and head out of bounds after picking up about 4. The coverage has been good downfield.
Yeah. Interesting play design there too. They kind of faked the outside lead play, and I think he was trying to throw back to those guys, one of those two, and Wesleyan did a great job, had it covered up, and then when he looked front side, it was pretty well or backside, it was pretty well covered as well. So yeah, the secondary's done a very good job.
3 wide receivers here to the near side. for Dodd. He's going to give the handoff to Anderson. Anderson.
Tough run.
Good tough run. Nice play by Jackson Barron to knock him out of bounds.
So third down chance here. I'm guessing 4 down territory for Wartburg.
Third and a couple. And they're going to throw for it. Dodd taking a shot.
Oh.
That was going to Cade Hughes and the flag.
Yeah.
Terrell had a little bit of jersey, didn't he?
Yeah, it probably. We got it.
And another flag.
Don't love the late flag.
So this could be a double whammy on Nebraska Wesleyan.
Oh, perhaps Terrell taking a little issue with the call.
Yeah.
You know, it's too bad he was in really good position there. You know, he was in phase, and I think what hurt him there, the ball hung up a little bit into the wind, and
he's trying to get back into the play and kind of run up the back of the receiver Hughes.
Yeah, ball hangs up, and you end up getting there a little early, and it's a tough play.
And the penalty yards starting to mount up for the Prairie Wolves. 8 penalties now with those two. Joey Anderson pounding his way up the middle.
Wartburg just sort of pounding the ball in the middle here down in the red zone.
Anderson surges, and he's across.
Yeah, so just sort of straight inside zone or dive blocking, and got the pile to move. Jim, it's hard to believe this was a 7-3 game at halftime.
Right. It's been all Wartburg here in the second half. Hoppus, true on that one. Man, it's 34-3. And Wartburg just asserting themselves.
Yeah, it's, I think, maybe a little more of what we expected to see in the first half out of Wartburg. And they're number 7 team in the country for a reason. But they just were, especially offensively, just very out of sync in the first half, and defensively didn't really generate a lot of negative plays. But boy, they sort of hit the reset button at halftime and have been pretty dominant here in the second half.
And methodical too.
That's a great word for it. They didn't panic, they didn't get greedy, and just very methodical in their drives.
Yeah, the funny thing is Wesleyan still holds like a 7.5-minute advantage in time of possession.
Do we really?
Yes.
I would not have guessed that.
It's 30 minutes, 22 seconds to 22 minutes and 54 seconds. I mean, it's just one of those.
Tells you
it's
how
just-
lopsided that first
yes,
half was.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, in the short fields,
Yeah, I
they
suppose.
haven't needed to drive,
That's a fair
60,
point.
70 yards either.
Yeah, that's a fair point. They lived on our side of the 50 in the
Yeah,
third quarter.
They've been in plus territory the whole second half, pretty much. Prosser.
So that looked like it might have gone.
Yeah, for
and,
just a second there.
I didn't catch the number, but remember the Wartburg coverage team was able to slow him down just enough. But they had a little wall set up and a lead blocker there. Still a good start. Good starting spot for Wesleyan.
And just trying to appreciate football. Wartburg is just solid in every facet of the game.
Yeah, it's not extremely flashy.
Right.
Any works. Maybe the defensive line. They jump at you a little bit. But,
Yes.
But they just sit in this too high shell. They let Tyler collect tackles.
Yes.
In the middle, and you just, I don't know what Wesleyan's longest play from scrimmage has been, but just no explosive plays, and then extremely methodical on offense.
Yeah, Keenan Tyler now at 16 tackles. Longest play for Nebraska Wesleyan has been 13 yards.
Yeah.
A pitch and catch to Corbin Horner.
I mean, it's just Wartburg's saying the ball's out here, but I think we're going to get – I don't see a beanbag out from the ref, so.
Yeah, I don't
calling him
either. It
down.
looked like he was down.
But just a sure tackling team. On all those short passes Wesleyan was completing, the first guy usually made the tackle. It's just hard to generate much momentum when you have to be so patient on offense. And we got a different quads formation here.
Empty backfield. White.
Yeah, nice job coming back to the ball by McLaughlin there.
Joey McLaughlin has just really done a nice job of growing and becoming the trusted wide receiver in this offense.
Yeah. Just dynamic, got great hands. Like that, coming back to the ball like that, that's a tough catch. You got to make sure you get your arms underneath it. And, Wesleyan's had a lot of great receivers over the years. And McLaughlin, has certainly shown the ability to be mentioned with that group.
Flags all over the field here. But taking a look at, comparing the halftime statistics when Wartburg ran 20 plays for 102 yards.
Oh.
Here so far, 32 plays for 180 yards.
Yeah.
So, even the yardage, though, taking advantage of those short fields, they just have been able to execute.
You touched on it earlier. That's the one phase where they really have dominated special teams. Right, their punt return unit, whether it's returns or putting pressure on the punter, the block punt, has made a big difference in the game.
Getting it to Tristan Myers. Able to get about 5.
Pretty good blocking out there by the Wesleyan receivers. I mean, you have to hold those blocks for a long time on that play, and Wartburg is a very physical team. So nice job on the perimeter there.
So now it's going to be 2nd and 9. McLaughlin again.
Yep.
Able to get about 4.
Right underneath the underneath, right in front of the underneath defenders in that 2 deep zone. I think Wartburg's Going to be pretty happy here to keep everything in front of them and let the clock keep running.
Third down and 4. White tried to get it to Taylor Hayes.
Yeah, just ball sailed on him just a little bit.
Kind of wish he would have hit Drake Ferris.
I was
right away.
I was thinking the same thing. We had a little better opportunity there, but again, you're down 31 points. I think you're thinking chunks of yards.
Right.
Trying to get in the end zone here. Fourth down now for the Wolves.
McLaughlin is open, and man, he's able to make the catch.
Yeah, he's going to catch that 10 out of 10 times. And
his ability to leap is just fantastic.
High point the ball, and interesting, Wartburg chose to blitz there and
kind of left Corbin Bark out there, number 21, on an island.
Yep. I'll take McLaughlin in a matchup against about any corner we've seen this year.
And a timeout as we're at the 2-minute timeout. Nebraska Wesleyan, like to see him get in the end zone today. They've played pretty decent on offense, but you can only hold back the deluge for so long.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to see him get a little momentum for next week. And really, they've played well, particularly between the 20s. You make your money in the red zone, so it's, I get Wartburg's defense is designed a little bit to give that up, but Wesleyan's moved the ball pretty well for the most part.
First and goal from the 3. I formation. Fake to Myers. White scrambling.
Great catch.
Great catch. That's Jace Guntle. That took forever. We were trying to get the tight end across the formation. He almost ran out onto the track.
He did. Maybe not the cleanest X and Y cross I've seen out of Wesleyan, but effective.
Yes. We were talking about that a couple of weeks ago, how that used to always be the go-to play.
Yep, Wartburg defended it pretty well, but White did a nice job with his feet there, buying a little extra time.
Up and through. So Wesleyan gets a touchdown.
Yeah, nice job to finish the drive there.
Right. So, yeah, the next time Nebraska Wesleyan is at home will be in 2 weeks against Simpson.
So they finished with, I think, 2 more manageable games. You'd like to see Wesleyan put together a couple of complete games there. I think those are both winnable games for Wesleyan for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of hard the way that the schedule was built for Wesleyan this year, and you start with having to play Co right out of the gate. Co's having a great season to open up the conference, and then you do get the win over Luther, and then at Dubuque had a great opportunity to win that game, but a turnover and a pick six kind of cost you, and then you lose. And
kind of bizarre ending to the Loris game, and then you get, I think, Central and Wartburg kind of back to back, and just
two nationally ranked powers, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there looking at the record going, oh my gosh, these guys have only won one game, but really and truly a couple of mistakes that they could have taken care of those. They could have easily had 4 wins coming into today.
Yeah, I think if you can keep the kids engaged and keep the mental part of the game, stay on top of that, you sort of like the opportunities in the upcoming weeks.
Josh Pappas now in at quarterback, as Leo Dodd's day is done. 16 for 24 through the air for Leo Dodd. 2 TDs, 165 yards.
Yeah, they didn't ask him to do just a ton, kind of rolled him out, gave him kind of 1 or 2 reads, but I think of that big 3rd and long that he hit right in front of the cover 3 safety that kept a drive alive early in the 3rd quarter. It's a nice throw by him. Again, not flashy, but he's did enough to run the offense.
Yeah, he's effective, that's for sure, and he takes care of the football. Aiden Skoda on the carry.
Nice job on the pin and pull there.
And a timeout. Aiden Pressure Washing is a proud corporate sponsor of Nebraska Wesleyan University Athletics. For all your pressure washing needs, whether it's commercial or residential, be sure to give Aiden Pressure Washing a call at 402-580-1428. Wesleyan defense waiting on Wartburg.
See, Wartburg brought their whole contingent of cheerleaders, too. That's making the trip down from Waverly.
Pappas is going to drop back and throw after faking the handoff. Now he's going to scramble. Slides down.
Well, Wesleyan using their timeouts here. I wonder if that's maybe why we saw Wartburg go to the air.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, just kind of to your point, momentum is important because you do want to finish on a positive note and have a good feeling going into the last 2 games of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. You're coming off the bye week. You played pretty well in the first half and just scored a touchdown. You maybe want to try to see if you can maybe get the ball back here, score again, and carry that over into the next couple of weeks.
Well, the way I kind of like to look at it is it's teachable moments.
Right.
Don't give up. We're still going to play the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And give your best on every single snap, every single play, and that's kind of a mantra for Brian Keller. Just in life and in
Yep.
football, whatever it is, you've got to keep going.
Yep.
Papish underneath. That's Eggestal.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be enough for the first down.
And it will be
Yep.
Caleb Eggestal. His 8th catch of the season.
Yeah, they do a good job of blocking up the perimeter there to get their quarterbacks free.
Papish has gotten quite a bit of playing time. He's 35 for 54, 354 yards, 64.8 completion percentage in the snaps that he's had in relief of Dodd.
Yeah, I'm sure he's gotten plenty of opportunity to run the offense. Looks like Wesleyan's maybe going to leave that final timeout holstered.
So Wartburg's going to have to run one more play. But they're going to go to 9-0 and 7-0 in American Rivers Conference play. And Wesleyan will regroup. Head to Storm Lake, Iowa next Saturday. See what they can get done against BV. As that'll wrap things up from here in Lincoln. Wartburg doing a great job in the second half and pulling away from Nebraska Wesleyan for the 34-10 win.
Yep, a lot of positives for Wesleyan, but I think there, especially in the second half, we saw why Wartburg's a top 10 ranked team.
And so that'll wrap it up from Able Stadium. I'm Jim Angeli, along with Brent Chambers. Thanks for joining us here on the Prairie Wolves Webcasting Network. Football again on November 15th against Simpson. 1 o'clock kickoff. We'll have that game for you right here on NWUsports.com.